So we had a lot of challenges. So in that 20 years of development, how do we win new customers slowly, methodically? So just some of the feature sets that they do it. The company, you must understand, was very R&D focused, very technical. So some of the features we put out there that if you need one solution for, for your Windows platform, one for Linux, if you need one for virtual, one for physical, you had to get different products. So we set out very early that we were going to develop one product, one solution for all platforms, all applications. So you had to think big, you had to be bold, because that's the only way you were going to penetrate a market that has already been saturated. That we would also make it available for hybrid environments. So in the IT world, specifically in the mid-market, you had a mix of different applications, different platforms. You had hardware, virtual applications, more recently, cloud services coming into the picture. And a single, many of the competitors, the IT managers had to look at different platforms, different windows to solve other solutions. We had one single management interface. So I won't go through all the points here, but what you need to understand is a lot of attention went to mapping the attributes of what the IT manager needs to run his mid-market business and what we developed into the product. So that's why one of the reasons that gave us an early start in a very crowded market. So how we position ourselves is we eliminate complexity for the mid-market customer. We eliminate the cost, we reduce the cost, and we increase the capability. So out in the marketplace, we had some competitors that were very good, best of breed, is how they position themselves. So they may be very good in a virtual-only environment. We have others that were very good at recovering quickly, but in a Windows-only environment. And other competitors were able to advance forward into the cloud. And then others were a little bit on the higher end of the stack, protecting the large storage networks that they were known for. But if you're in a small business, you're pretty much only going to have one platform, and these solutions might make it easy for you. If you're in the enterprise, it's very sophisticated, but they have a lot of resources to be able to manage that. The mid-market was where the IT directors had, we thought, the most pain. They have a hybrid mix. They don't want all these multiple solutions that fit different layers of the stack within their IT infrastructure, specifically for backup and recovery. So what Unitrends did was come with one product that, whether it's an appliance or virtual software appliance, you deploy that and you can cover everything in the virtual stack. Any application, any platform, hardware, software, cloud. And so with that, our value proposition was you only need one product. You can get rid of all the other ones. And we were validating this slowly but surely. 2009, new management came into the company, veterans from the backup industry, and we saw slowly, one by one, we started winning new customers. First 1,000, then we got up to 2,000 customers, then 3,000. Today, we're about 4,500 customers. So we were winning them, but we weren't winning them fast enough. Still very small company. Nobody ever heard of Unitrends, to be quite honest with you. I started there in May of 2012, and prior to that, I never heard of Unitrends. I actually had a colleague who came over, who's now the vice president of channel sales worldwide, and he said, hey, why don't you come on over? And interestingly enough, Unitrends is my third backup company, and I would never run into them at the trade shows, at the conferences. They were just an unknown entity in a sea of well-known brand names. But we had validation. We saw that we were winning customers slowly, steadily. We were getting them there. So, in addition to that validation, Gartner did a research in this space, and they said by 2016, 1/3 of all organizations with backup vendors will change their backup vendors due to frustration over cost, complexity, and capability. We couldn't believe that we saw this report because this is what we've been saying for the last few years, and we've been proving it out. So now we have further validation from Gartner research. So far, so good. Everything's going good. So again, recapping the history of the company, 1989 when it was founded by very humble means, extra emphasis on research and development with almost no emphasis on expanding the market or making any market penetration until 2009. New management brought in, new investors, and they said, okay, it's time to accelerate now and take this product to the mainstream. And so the goal we were given was $100 million. Now, If that doesn't crystallize your thinking, keep in mind, we're a very small company. But they said if we're going to have any chance of viability 3 years from now, and according to Gartner, we only have 3 years left, that window, to take advantage of the customers who will be changing, then we won't be viable. After 3 years, the bigger companies have much bigger resources to put us away, but we have to get to 100 million. So that quickly crystallized our focus, gave us a target in the front, gave us a target in the back in case we didn't deliver. All right, so what did we do? Each of our constituents, each of the departments, we all socialized that we have to get to 100 million in revenue in a couple of years. Now, we're a privately held company, so I don't have revenue data here, but that is the actual chart proportionally on how our revenue looked at the time. And in 2012, we achieved 88% growth year on year, but it was not nearly good enough. We had to be in the triple digits if we were going to be a viable company 2-3 years from now. Why? Because again, we were very late entered into the market, even though despite that we had a superior product to most of our competitors. So we had the scale. It was about scale, velocity, and rapid growth. So we took stock. The development team said, okay, we have our product. We have it developed, but is it good enough? We started to introduce agile development. So instead of having one big release of a new product, every quarter we will take our customers' requirements, their complaints, their suggestions, and refine the product. So every quarter we're rolling out something new or refining. Agile development, continuous evolution. So now the product development team is doing their part to get us to the 100 million. So we check that box, we're in a good spot. All right, so a highly effective sales and marketing engine. Now, interestingly enough, prior to 2012, there was no formal marketing department. Just a handful of people, maybe going to a few shows, doing a couple of emails. But for the history of that company, 20 years, there was really no formal marketing. So very rapidly, in a few months' time, a whole marketing organization was built. Sales comprised of 3 people in 2009. We now have over 40. So let's take a look at what some of the things that happened. So in 2012, we started introducing free software, nothing new. All our competitors do that. The one thing that we did different, rather than give a sampling or a trial or anything that's timed out, we gave the full product, up to 2 terabytes free for anybody who wants it. Absolutely free to use. Because in the mid-market, you're going to tap out those 2 terabytes fairly quickly. Now in the small business, which we're not going after, they can have software for life, not even have to buy our competitor's product. And now we're starting to introduce free software with certain hardware. Some big name companies that we're going to be announcing this week, as a matter of fact, up to 5 terabytes free of our software. So we're seeding the market. We have 30,000 downloads since we introduced this in June of last year. So we're doing all the right things to get to that 100 million. We're starting to get a lot more advanced in social media. We're building that out. Now keep in mind, a year in 2011, none of this existed. So we started building out our social media, our blogging posts. We got involved with Spiceworks, and in 1 year, we won a Spicy Award, which is a very prestigious award. It's the largest IT community in the world, fastest growing IT community, and very influential about your products. And we get compared and we get talked about, compared with our competitors constantly every day. And this know-nothing company, all of a sudden, we won an award on Spiceworks. Very short time. Analysts are starting to follow us. Gartner, Forrester, IDC. So we're starting to get visibility there. Adds more validation. We build out our inside sales organization from 3 to 40 that we have now worldwide. We're actually hiring people. We've hired people in EMEA, opening offices in Germany, France, and in the UK. And so we're starting to expand globally. That's all great, but it's still not good enough. Still not fast enough to get to the 100 million. We're growing respectably, double-digit growth, maybe 100%, but we really need to get far above a triple digit. So the rest of the story is really going to be focused around loyalty, around the channel, of which I'm responsible for there. So I came on May. I think I was the second person hired for the channels organization, and we started to build out channel sales reps, marketing personnel, so we brought that in, growing again, about 88, 90%. So far, so good. We had a loyalty program before, but it quite wasn't working well. It wasn't getting us to where we had 400 members. But we had the infrastructure in place, so now we're ready to go. So, just to recap, we had a great product. It was mapping to what customers wanted. We knew our target audience. We had multiple sources of lead generation. We had an expanded sales force. And by expanding our channel sales, we increased our sales to reach even tenfold from an inside sales organization. Okay, so far so good. Now the challenge. How are we going to convince new partners to sell Unitrends when the established brands are already there, with their loyalty programs in place? They're well-established brands. This was going to be a challenge. And the old traditional method would be outbound telemarketing, advertising in some of the channel media publications. That's very slow and long-going. We had to hit the 100 million very quickly. So the challenges, the brand was still relatively unknown in the partner community. Hyper-competitive industry. Again, for 20 years, while we were not asleep, but while we were developing, the market was already taken over, saturated with all the big name brands. We lost the first mover advantage in the mid-market space. We were a David against the Legion of Goliath, and this is how all the outsiders viewed us when we first started out in 2009. So we said the only acceleration that we're going to get is crafting a superior loyalty program. We had to get it right. Our products are working. We have the right social media going. The blogosphere is saying great things about Unitrends, but we had to convince new partners to come onto the Unitrends program. So we went out and polled them. We had a handful of partners already, and they came to us with some very good intelligence on what's out there for loyalty programs. So we identified one of the things we've heard. We want you to keep it simple, very intuitive, easy to navigate. One of our partners sent me a 28-page manual, a guide, really, on how one of our competitors advised their partners on how to go in and register their opportunities, how to drive it. I said, that's a joke. We will guarantee you that when we develop this, no instructions required. This will be a completely intuitive program and a completely intuitive interface. So they told us, keep it simple. The other one is incentives for various stages. The traditional sales incentives in the VAR community with resellers, distributors, and direct market resellers is they register an opportunity. When it closes, about anywhere from 60 to 90 days after that invoice books, they get a check in the mail or they get paid. They want instant gratification. As soon as they participate into a program, they want to see those rewards. They want to see the money accumulate very quickly. And so incentive for various stages, everyone incents in the marketplace for the close. But what about the beginning? You want us to take your sales training? How about incenting us there? You'd like us to bring you a lead? It would be nice to get compensated for that. You want us to refer partners or refer new candidates? Pay us for that. So in other words, we're a coin-operated constituency here. How about paying us for everything you're asking us to do? We said, that's great, that's exactly what we're going to do. Then they want transparency. What I've heard constantly is, I would work with vendors like yourself, but in the end of the day, I don't know what happened to my deal. I don't know what stage it's in. Nobody's calling me up. I have to chase it down. I'm selling a lot of other products. There isn't enough time in the day. This quarter is the most important quarter of my life. I can't waste time chasing it down. So we want complete transparency and be able to know exactly where our deals are in the sales cycle. Even if I don't pick up the phone and call you, I want to be able to know. And then finally, instant communication and follow-up. I don't want to have to chase you down. I want you to be able to contact me. Sometimes I don't even know who I'm supposed to work with when I submit the deal. And then again, relevant content. I have one common theme I heard as a sales rep in the VAR community. I've got to sell 20 different product lines. There's only 5 I'm really going to focus on. And quite frankly, if I spend 20 different time on 20 different portals, I'm never going to have time to sell and trying to figure that out. So we had to make the content, the navigation, relevant, specific, so they can get into the program and get out and make lots of money doing it. So this is where we engage Fiello. We brought that criteria to our partner Fiello, who's joining me here today on the presentation, and they took it from us for concept to reality in 45 days. So now, again, with that focus, I got to get to 100 million, or I'm fired. We put out this loyalty program, and it turned out to be not only the #1 growth for new partner recruitment, increasing retention, record-breaking channel revenue. This is actually the #1 lead source in the whole company, par none. We now have 68% of all lead source coming into the company from our partner community.
I'm going to be very quick about giving you a little bit of a background on Fiello because this is about Unitrends and Unirewards. But just as an overview, Fiello has been around for a few years now, and we are very driven by not just loyalty, but taking loyalty to the next level and talking about behavior change solutions, because loyalty is not good enough unless it actually results in profitability for your company. So it's great to know who the people are who follow you, but are they making more money for you is what's important. And that's where we've been working a lot with some of our best clients, such as Unirewards, to actually get benefits that have real effect in the world. We are part of a very large group called ValueNet, which has been in Latin America for the last 12 years. We are also relatively young, like Unirewards, and I think that's why we made such great partners. Very quickly, if you ask me what it can do for anyone as Fiello, we are there to empower our best clients to turbocharge their businesses and incentivize loyalty and behavior change with a solution that is quick and easy. So no rocket science required. It does have a rocket science back end, and I'm not going to go through the details, but we have tremendous tools that can be put to work in a very, very simple and intuitive manner. And we are in many, many different places in a very short time. Each of these are wonderful stories, just like the Unirewards. So I'm going to give this back to Charles to go through the rest of the story.
All right, so after 45 days, we finally launched our Unirewards programs, and the results were pretty remarkable. First, let me show you here the partner program. Simple, relevant, intuitive. Some of the intelligence will go back from our partners and what they'd like to see in the program. So here, we're offering coin-operated incentive behavior. $100 just for bringing in a lead, whether it closes or not. If we qualify it and it meets certain criteria, we pay our partners $100. It takes 3 to 4 leads to convert to a closed one, so you can make $300 to $400 even if you don't close anything. But what this program does is it fills the very top of the funnel so that it engages our own sales organization to start closing those deals. Again, the biggest lead source in the company, par none, today. We also pay up to $2,000 for sold appliances and software deals. 30% margin. Without the program, they're limited to 10. We offer them margin protection. That means if they lose a deal that they registered with us to one of their competitors, we'll cut them a check for the margin and send it to them, because that's the kind of loyalty that we're looking for. Why should they be penalized? They brought us the customer. Someone else maybe had more pricing power, but we're going to reward the partner who brought us their customer to us. And then we have all these incentives, spot promotions. That we can pay for, as I mentioned, sales training. We have a coupon code there. We talked about transparency. You can see at the very top of the portal there, the number of points that the individual has accumulated. And we're always reinforcing with relevant content that's only relevant to them, how much money the top 25% make on a single deal, which is down in the lower left-hand corner there, and how much the average partner can make. So it really puts front and center that they're going to make even more money selling Unitrends. And then, again, we put supplemental promotions through the portal here. Today, this quarter, we're offering Apple iPads for anyone who submits 10 registrations, 10 new opportunities to Unitrends. This really took off in EMEA. This is distributors in particular are leveraging this message to recruit a lot of partners. So we're able to, provide just the relevant content. Here we have a promotion, an end customer promotion that they need to be aware of. That's it. We keep it simple, intuitive, no instructions required. And then as we go from right to left, before we do that, we can also customize. Some of our partners are very huge. We have one individual who manages CDW, a big multinational global reseller, and his name happens to be David Bird. So the way he gets people to enroll is he gives them a stuffed animal of an angry bird if they sign up. And we've got 2,000 in 1 month. I think it was back in February. We recruited 2,000 reps just from that account alone. So all these creative things that we can do here. And then here, our registration page. This is where the top of the funnel begins, that Fiello was able to design for us based on our criteria. We minimize the number of fields that a rep has to fill out. Most registration programs have twice that. We put the onus on our own sales rep to dig with the partner and bring all that information that we need in qualifying the opportunity. Once they hit submit, all the SLAs are set in motion and the conversions begin. Alerts go out to the partner, notifying them immediately. Who is the sales rep that I need to work with? What is their phone number? What is their email address? And a commitment that they will follow up with you within 2 business days. But if you can't wait, here's their information. Call them right now. At the same time, our sales rep receives that same message to go ahead. Here's your contact through the Unirewards program. Please engage with them as soon as possible and start closing that deal. Very high velocity model here. You know, prior to this model, sometimes weeks would go by before anyone would follow up, and you know, partners were wondering what happened to their deal. Here we have 48-hour turn, and then we put a commitment that we will convert that or we will deny it within 14 business days. So we're very SLA, very metrics driven with our partner community. This has done more than anything else in terms of filling the top of that funnel. Transparency, that was a big deal. Because of the tight integration with Salesforce, we now give our partners visibility into all the transactions that they brought to Unitrends. And what they'll see in any given moment, they can see what was the date of the transaction, how many points have I earned, was my opportunity denied, was it approved, where is it in the sales funnel, so that even if I never picked up the phone and called you, I know exactly where it is. And it also allows me as a sales rep to roll up my pipeline to my sales manager, which I have to report on a monthly basis, in particular where my Unitrends business is. And then frictionless redemption. Because they have their account set up, you know, the points are always changing at the very top. When they reach the minimum, it's a click-through redemption. It's immediate. They don't have to wait, you know, 30, 45, 60 days after the quarter ends. They get it within days. The points accumulate. They can go in. They redeem their rewards, virtual Visa. We actually distribute in the States Visa cards with the Unitrends brand on it. And then from that point, once they own the card, every click-through that they convert points into cash, it just fills up into their bank account. Highly well received. And then finally, the viral component. So we do a lot of our own telemarketing. We're reaching out to sales reps. We're doing site visits, like you saw the Angry Birds campaign. Whatever we can, we do to recruit new members. But we also put a viral component. We're actually paying sales reps to refer us. So if they refer us to their colleagues, if you're an early adopter, we want you to refer us to our colleagues. If you refer to 10, you get $20 for everyone that signs up. And then from that point forward, every lead that referral registers that gets approved, you get $30. And every deal that closes and invoices, you get $75. I got a really good story for you. We had one partner who actually invited a whole bunch of colleagues from his competitors, and they signed up. His reasoning was, if I don't win the business here, at least I'll make money off of my competitors. So we saw that kind of viral capability going out there. That wasn't the intent, but it was kind of funny that we saw that one individual taking advantage of that viral component. This is really big with our distributors out in EMEA. They actually use this as a recruitment tool as they're out recruiting partners. They're emailing the sales reps and the owners to join. And not only are they buying through that distributor, they're also getting a piece of the action that they are delivering. So what's our validation that it was a success? We went back and we polled all our partners. And these are some of my favorite ones. Unitrends rewards program has been a great bonus. My experience with the sales team, the engineers, and the awards program has been nothing but outstanding. Unlike other vendor programs, the funding the awards was extremely fast. One of the easier incentive programs. And then from a partner's point of view, your incentive program is definitely one of the best I've dealt with. So, anecdotally, we've had success very early. But now let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. We rolled this program a year ago. We had 400 members in our loyalty program, and within a year, we've enrolled 6,400 partners. Now, prior to that, it took a year to get 400 enrollees. 6,400 enrollees, 6,100 new leads to Unitrends, net new. That equated to 4,300 opportunities, a $79 million pipeline, which already has converted to $20 million in net new revenue to Unitrends. Again, 68% of the lead gen coming from the partner community, and we've only scratched the surface. $800,000 in redemptions that we've accrued out to our partners, a very small ratio of cost to results over any other marketing vehicle I've ever invested in the channel. So completely huge success for us. So just to recap, Why do we have outrageous loyalty? Why did we grow so fast? And we are trending, by the way, to that $100 million trajectory within a year or two. We listened to what our partners wanted in the loyalty program. Fialo came and created based on the parameters. Simple, intuitive, lucrative, relevant content, like hopefully I've displayed to you on the site. Lucrative, they make a lot of money. It's transparent. They make even more money. I had to put lucrative 3 times because that's what it's all about. Viral, able to scale this. 20% of our members come through the viral component. And it's fast redemption, basically very happy partners. And because of that, we've now grown to 10x the number of partners that we've had before, and we see no end in sight. With our expansion in EMEA, we'll be coming soon to Latin America, deliberately in 2014, and that's all I have.